Hello, thank you for coming back. So let's get right into it. There's a lot, right? But okay, so first and foremost, I saw the first love bug of the season. Okay, so that's significant. All right, I'm starting to sweat and getting the giggles again. Okay, I'm like really channeling. I'll get the giggles a little bit. Uh, wow. Okay, so there's this gift that is about to be bestowed on you. It's trying to come into your energy, right? It's trying to be bestowed upon you. I'm getting, okay. It's just these karmic cycles that you're in. They have to go first, okay. Um, yeah, it's like there's something that you're not seeing, right? Or it's just it has to do with some type of subconscious pattern, okay. It's like the subconscious is it's trying to make itself conscious. It's like right in the middle, okay? So it's a really weird kind of what's like in between worlds energy, you know, where you sort of see things and then you right, look at the candle dancing. It's like you sort of see things, but right? So introspection is important too. I'm going to read a couple paragraphs from this book. It's called Oneness by Rasha. I love this book. It's awesome. It's really gives you a really interesting perspective about, um, I don't know, whatever this is, reality, or this life. Um, but yeah, first love bug of this season, so that's awesome. Yeah, so let me get my channeled messages out first, and then I'm gonna read this. So, you know, the more that I am open to doing this, right? Um, the more it's like these messages. I'm under. It's like I'm decoding everything around me, and I'm understanding. I'm like, oh wow, okay. It just comes with like a whole other um awakening, right? There's not just one, there's several. And the way that there's such an outpour of light energy that's like bombarded onto the planet, right? So yeah, like things, if you open yourself up and you're able to retain a lot of that light, you're able to kind of be like that, like light bearer in a sense, right? That lighthouse, right? Spread the light, be the lighthouse. And the more light that's here, it's kind of like it's not the faster that things will evolve or heal, but it's like the more light that's here, it's like it's clarity, right? It's illumination. So it's like, oh, okay, it's almost, I don't know if easier is the word, but it's almost easier. That's for lack of better words, okay? It's almost easier to. I'm literally shaking, like my hands are. It's almost easier. It's almost easier to make the changes if you're kind of well aware of them, right? Right. Yeah. So, 222 is the key to move to forward movement. All right. It could have been February of something, whatever 222, whatever that means to you. Could be a date, right? February 22nd. Could be February of this year. Again, whatever 222 means to you. Could be six, right? Could be what? Again, whatever 222 means. There's a that's like the key to moving forward. Okay. Right? It's a key, not the key. It's a key. Okay, that's important. It's a key, not the key. Right? Okay. Um, if you feel like someone's watching you, yeah, they're now spying. Okay, and it's like this is kind of relating back to my Secret Admirer video, but not really. It's just similar energy, right? Um, it's like you're gonna catch it, like who or someone's gonna get caught or something, but you're gonna catch it, right? And it's gonna be you're gonna notice like there's gonna be some type of sign of significance, right? Signs and synchronicities, 515. It's gonna really illuminate some things for you, right? And you're going to be able to like literally speak out loud, like, oh shit. Like it's like that aha moment where like everything flashes before you in a sense. Okay. Um, literally you just have to pick your head up and look. I'm telling you, if you just pick your head up, the signs are there. It's like you can almost see this gift suspended in the air too, okay? Whatever is making its way to be bestowed upon you, it's suspended in the air, okay? 555. And it's like, so no matter what way you look at it, okay? And it is whatever that is for you, okay? Take what resonates. No matter way you look at it, like everything must change, right? This is total rebirth, okay? It's total rebirth. I'm hearing death and judgment, so, but then it's like judgment, death. Actually, I'm seeing judgment, death, judgment. So there's two judgment cards. So judgment, death, judgment. It's like so the death is critical to the rebirth, obviously, right? So like the analogy that I'm getting, that I'm yeah, is like, see, you want to change, right? So take like your living room, okay? So you want to change, so you rearrange your furniture and you rearrange your living room to where it's totally different, right? It's like it feels like you're in a totally different house. Like, okay, you rearranged it and it still feels different, but it's still the same shit, right? It's still the same couch, it's still the same end table, it's still the same whatever entertainment system, it's still the same, whatever. Even if you painted the walls different, it's still the same, right? Like, so the foundation's still the same no matter what way you dress it up. Okay? So maybe this is more of a deeper change that's needed, right? Maybe I'm getting like the energy of just making smaller, different changes about it, or trying to shift your perspective, right? And it's kind of getting to the point where it's like, okay, I think I've thought about this in a multitude of different ways. Like every way I can think of, I've thought about it, and it's like you're still here, okay? So that's what brings me to like this energy of feeling like separation, divorce, like really heavy. There's like a lot of, it's like crystallizing, like finalizing, it's, yeah, there's like action behind it, okay? And then I was also getting, be mindful of loneliness, okay? And that's like associated with revenge too, okay? So just watch your back, kind of thing. I'm not trying to scare anybody or anything. And then I was getting carpal tunnel, okay? Specifically on the left hand, carpal tunnel. And then as I was hearing that, then I was hearing car pulled in tunnel. Okay? So I was like writing it down, and then like a bunch of sentences were forming through. So maybe if there's like a phrase that comes to mind, maybe write that down and see how many different sentences you get out of there. 'Cause there's something, right? There's just something to, it's like there's a message within a message within a message. Does that make sense? Yeah, so, all right, so let me read this because this is honestly, um, it honestly, I have to just see where I wanna. Well, I'm not gonna read a whole chapter. That's 10 pages. I'm not reading a whole chapter. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I love reading out loud. It's nice. Okay, so this is chapter 22. You can see it on page 209. And it starts with like basically what this chapter is about, okay? But I'm going to skim through, and there's like 2 pages that I want to read. All right, I'm going to stop explaining this. I'm going to just do it. So, sidestepping the triggers that provoke predictable patterns of response, diffusing the poignancy of the adversarial relationship, stimulating the karmic resolution of emotion at parallel levels of awareness, recognizing the divinity that unites all experience. So yeah, let me. Or maybe I'll just start here, and then I'm gonna stop. Okay, I'm probably gonna read. So just am I gonna pull cards? I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, it's probably just a couple pages. So I'm gonna stop worrying about if you want to stay or not. Okay. The opportunity to transcend the patterns of experience you have acted out presents itself when you reach a place within where you are no longer attached to having to be right in the eyes of another, okay? When you are able to let go of the need for ego validation on the issues that help define the history of this lifetime, you have taken the tentative first steps towards liberation from those patterns. Yes, that's what I was trying to say the last 12 minutes, pretty much, right? With all my messages that lead up to this, okay? So whatever this karmic cycle could be involving, like some of those messages I was giving before earlier, right? The divorce, separation, something about like spying. I keep getting license plate too. It's like there's something you'll see on a license plate, okay, maybe a number or some letter combination or something, right? Or you could see 222 on a license plate, right? But there's something about you have to pick your head up and look at these signs, okay? Because they're all over. They're like I'm seeing the 8 of Wands right now. So it's like they are being shot at you from, and their target is you. So like these signs, like you want these signs, well, what you seek is seeking you, right? Okay? It is important that you remain aware that you have not been alone in these interactions. The experiential partners who have been working out the details of these conflicts with you for lifetimes also have a stake in the potential for the transcendence of these issues. Agreements remain in place for each of you to continue to participate in these patterns of interaction until there is resolution for all concerned. Which is like why karmic relationships or karmic attachments are so hard to let go of sometimes, right? Thus, it is entirely possible for you to continue to be drawn into dramas with certain individuals, despite the fact that you may have reached a place of completion with the issues in question. Exactly what I was saying. You may have noticed a shift in the intensity of certain kinds of experiences as the energies that magnetize them diminish. Yet, within the energy field of your experiential partner, all the components for the full throttle of discord may still be present. The invitation to engage in conflict with certain individuals may continue for some time to come, as each of you brings to resolution the opposing aspects of an issue in which you are mutually invested. While you may well find yourself playing out yet another episode in a serial drama, your own sense of the energies will have shifted. You will feel far less invested in meeting your adversary chin to chin and more inclined to sidestep the classic triggers that once served to provoke you into predictable patterns of response. 1414. No, that's 1444 I just saw. Well, 1414, so temperance. So you're definitely healing this, right? It's like maybe this is where you're at, okay? It's like you're starting to see this. Remember I was saying it's kind of like that in between world. So you're like picking up on the patterns, right? You're the clues, right? Pick your head up and see. It's like these signs, these clues are everywhere, okay? Um, what else was I? Anything else that I wanted to say before I continue? Right. So this is giving me a little bit of foreshadowing too. Okay. So there might be individuals coming near you to try to provoke you, kind of thing. There might be certain situations being kind of thrusted into your life as a means to provoke you. So again, foreshadowing. This may be like a little bit of a heads up. I did that. Okay. Your partner is in essence dueling with an experiential surrogate in your form as he brings to resolution his own poignant life theme issues. For vibrationally, you will no longer be functioning as a catalyst that might escalate the energies in question. Having diffused your own residual energy charge on the issue at hand, you can only add the vibration of indifference to the equation. Let me drink some water. I'm getting a little tongue-tied here. Please slow down on the messages. Thank you. Okay, agreements of this kind will continue to manifest life-themed dramas that draw your participation, so long as one member of an experiential partnership continues to manifest conflict around certain issues. By continuing to honor your agreements to be present and play your part in a given drama, you serve to help all concerned to bring a history of predictable conflicts to closure. Right? So accountability, right? It's like in every situation, it's not just on one person, right? It's like that ripple effect, okay? One thing happens and it just kickstarts the domino to how many other things. Of course, there's situations that you can like argue against this, right? So take what resonates. You are linked karmically with certain individuals for the purpose of facilitating such patterns of resolution. Even though you might wish to disengage your energies altogether and simply walk away, you are likely to find that it's not that easy. For beneath the most insidious patterns of adversity that have surfaced between certain players in your drama is a foundation of great love. Were that not the case, it would have been impossible for each of you to have continued to serve each other's growth in this way in lifetime after lifetime. Wow. Yeah. Now that the augmented energies of these times of transformation are supporting your own impetus to move forward, each invitation to engage in battle with a familiar pattern brings with it the potential gift of the recognition of a timeless soulmate. As you continue to release from your own side the vibrational ties that would perpetuate certain categories of interaction, you allow the love that genuinely exists between you to emerge and help shift the dynamics of your history. This is also given me to twin flame, you know. This seems like a way to kind of this is like twin flame journey a little bit too. So soulmate, twin flame, and karmic relationships too, like how they all tie together, right? You know, you have like the power to change everything, right? You really do. That's why like your voice is so important. It really is. You really do have the power. You have a mind, you have a heart, you have a voice, you have the power, and you have hands too. You have the power. I think that you can shift. You know, karmic just means like a life lesson, right? And most of the times, karmic lessons they can be harsh, right? They can be heavy, right? They can be long, like long cycles. Like what's 7 years is a karmic cycle, right? 7 years is one karmic cycle, right? Karmic cycles happen every 7 years. And you know that I'm reading chapter 22, so 22 that's that master builder, master destroyer number. You know, like I was saying with your voice, you know, you can create new worlds, you can completely destroy them, completely. It's really like up to you, right? And it's like these these relationships that come into our lives, right? These karmic relationships, they come into our lives because we're supposed to learn like deep lessons, right? uh Take what resonates here, and like obviously if you're in a dangerous situation, you don't need, you know what I mean, like use your brain, use your discernment. That's important, okay? Like trust your intuition. That's important. Like master your intuition, master your intuitive abilities, because you can't be looking outside of yourself for answers. 2022. Like it's 2022. You have to look within. You have to find that balance within, because you are given an inner compass too. That's just been hidden from you for all that, from the beginning, right? For all this time. Right? Um okay. And everything is like, love really is like the most powerful force, and this is not like some cliche nonsense. Like, it is, the power of love is absolutely incredible. Like the power of true unconditional love, like love, like divine love, right? Like that love that you find through like that connection with source, right? And once you have that connection, then you just find that love is everywhere. You can see that love everywhere. 2121. You can recognize that certain things go on in the world, but you can also have see from a higher perspective too, and you can still see that love really is the driving force of everything. Whether it's an abundance of love, whether it's a lack of love, it's always the driving force in everything. So ultimately, each of you will be able to release the other unconditionally and to move forward in new categories of experience. Once your own passion surrounding certain issues has waned, it becomes easy to project the non-provocative responses that invite a similar sense of detachment on the part of a traditional adversary. You will find that the episodes that surface between you are fewer and farther between, as the energies that invite them to continue to dissipate. For without the vibrational foundation for a potential interaction, there is no basis with which to call it into manifestation. Certain relationships simply begin to drift apart as your attention and your energies are drawn elsewhere. Excuse me. So that's really important right now. So things that you find that you are kind of not really that attracted to anymore, things that you used to do all the time, but now you kind of just you feel like almost indifferent to them, right? Pay attention to that, and also too pay attention to the things that you are being attracted to, right? That's important. How much more did I want to? Okay, sorry, about like another page and a half. I'm really enjoying. Maybe I should do this like every week, honestly, like once a week. I just like pulled. I just opened the book and started reading. Was just like, here's the message. Okay, so okay, you will find that you begin to look back upon. I'm so excited. It's really sweet. Okay, you will find that you begin to look back upon some of these most caustic relationships without the predictable anguish that once was triggered at the mere thought of that individual. For the sense of the seething rage or the profound hurt or the unbridled terror that the actual interactions once manifested within you and that had been retained vibrationally would now have been released, and the passing thought that might once have been a sufficient catalyst to stimulate those unresolved emotions to the surface now is not. Wow, that's really... Go back 30 seconds and listen to that again. I'd read it again, but you can do that. It's really, everything's about energy, right? And everything is done at like an energetic level. That's where it starts. It starts at the energetic level, and then seeps into the emotional, the mental level, and then the physical level. Levels to this shit. Now you will notice that you can think about that individual or some of the actual incidents you co-created without feeling anything at all. These scenes are simply pictures in your mind that no longer seem to provoke or interest you. Individuals who once dominated your every waking moment and haunted your awareness in dream state have somehow faded into obscurity, and you are left to wonder about the validity of some of the major episodes of this lifetime. It is important to understand that your present state of transcendence does not serve to invalidate the poignancy of the journey that was necessary to take you there. What you experience is no less real or relevant as a reference point in your history, simply because you are no longer focused on the full intensity of those issues. The opportunity in having brought these categories of emotion to resolution is to remember vividly the richness of that level of experience, and at the same time to know that you are no longer there. Wow. You know, this is one of my cards from my basket. Words can be living transmissions, and that one absolutely is. I felt that. I really felt that when I read that. I have chills, man. I'm like sweating and I have the chills, but look at this. My arm here. So, one state of being does not cancel out the relevance of the other as a stepping stone toward where you, as a manifestation of conscious awareness, wish to be headed. The purpose in coming into form at those levels of density was to provide yourself with the fullness of the emotional experience necessary to draw parallel levels of awareness into a corresponding state of resolution. In this way, you were able to open the doors to the possibility of the integration of all aspects of your consciousness that resonate to those emotional issues. Had you not co-created some of the incidences, why do I keep saying incidences? Incidences? What's the difference between incident and incidences? Something was happening multiple times. Well, obviously with karmic relationships, but something about something happening multiple times is significant. Had you not co-created some of the incidents that brought these profound levels of emotion to the surface, you would not have had the catalyst in hand with which to release the density that has held you in certain patterns of experiences for lifetimes. Right, like karmic relationships. That's the point, right? That's the point of them. It's to release the density, right, from lifetimes, right? It's an opportunity, right? It presents itself as an opportunity to release the density from lifetimes, yeah. So, from your newfound perspective, you may well be able to look back upon certain incidents and consider them to have been avoidable, right? You could look back and say, oh man, like, I shouldn't have done that, or I wish I didn't do that. That's wisdom, right? You learn something. So that's good. So use that, and when that situation arises again, because you bet your bottom dollar that it will, 2828, it will repeat itself again. And it may come in a more sophisticated way, right? But in truth, had they had not manifested to the extent that they did, you would not be where you are right now. Gratitude. Gratitude, baby. Gratitude is the attitude. And this is not toxic positivity either, because when you're dealing with heavy shit like this, okay, when you're dealing with those karmic relationships that completely change everything for you, right? That bring up these dark, deep sides of yourself, bring up sides of yourself that you might even be scared of, right? It all had served a purpose. You really wouldn't be where you are. And it's a lot of like the inner work. It's It's a lot. It's very ugly. It's not pretty. That's not something that you'll really see on camera because no one wants to show that, right? No one wants to broadcast the um the most excruciating moments of their awakening. Absolutely not. Why would you? That's right. But it got you to where you are right now. Okay? So after feeling it and healing it and really doing the work and really getting your hands dirty, and it's a lot. It's literally like life or death sometimes. That's really how it feels, 3033. It's like you have to sacrifice your old self for your new self. And that's death, right? And that requires mourning, and that requires laying to rest and honoring that too, right? Honoring the whole process. It's very difficult to do it when you're still knee deep in the healing, right? So don't push yourself to the point where you're just going to stop healing altogether, right? There's levels to this shit. There's layers to this shit. You did not attain this rarefied perspective by chance, right? Everything happens for a reason. It was only by your willingness to probe the depths of your emotional responses in tandem with the others who hashed it out with you by agreement that each of you had the possibility of bringing the agony of some of those themes to completion. I think, all right, one last paragraph, and I think I'm good. You have served each other well. You who have facilitated in lancing the boil of another's repressed emotions. The memories may not be altogether pleasant, but then they weren't meant to be. Everything happens for a reason. And the authenticity of those memories will remain with you, devoid of their emotional charge. The energy, right? The emotional charge, it's the frequency, it's the energy, it's the vibration surrounding the emotion, surrounding the thought, surrounding the memory. So that you might have a frame of reference within which to place yourself as you move forward towards other kinds of experience. It's like in order for you to move on to the next level in your life, the next step in your life, there's like a gift, right? The gift that's trying to be bestowed upon you from this situation, from healing this karmic situation. And it's on a vibrational level. It's the energy charge. It's the emotional charge. Right? Energy is emotion in ocean. Energy in motion, that's emotion, right? 3303. You see in 333 a lot. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to read this next one too. I'm actually going to read these next two, okay? I promise. And then, I'm good. I'm going to close the book. I'm going to have a couple more, whatever. Because I feel like this is really important. 333, and I feel like this could really help someone. Okay, it's almost like it. These words are just really powerful, and I'm really feel really called to read this. So, and I hope whoever receives this with an open heart and receives it well. From the perspective of your no, I read that. Thank you. No, I didn't. From the perspective of your experiential partner, your actions were just as objectionable as his appeared to you. Each of you is simply looking at a common focal point through a different lens. Neither of you was right or wrong. Neither of you was villain nor victim, regardless of what transpired. Each of you participated in the enactment of a drama, knowingly playing the part you were scripted to play in order that a certain end might be attained vibrationally. Everything is energy. What transpired was one of many ways that end might have been achieved, and much vibrational backsliding was facilitated along the way, while in lifetime after lifetime, each of you struggled to get it right. By trial and error, you as a team worked out the details of your contractual karmic agreements. You honored each other and violated each other unmercifully, as each of you gave full expression to the manifestation of pride and ego. The role was played both ways, as each was given a turn to experience the effects of his own actions. In that way, the full spectrum of each category of emotion was permitted to manifest as life experience for each of you. For no one who stands at the threshold of completing this work here in the physical world has opted out of any part of it. Wow, right? So, this might sound bizarre to some people, but it's not going to sound bizarre to those that resonate. It's not. When you have like that understanding that it's really that the emotional charge that is keep fueling karmic issues, karmic relationships, karmic problems within your life, the karmic cycle period, that's like the hamster wheel, like that you can't get off of it, it's the emotional charge, right? So what if you just stay still and be, right? Collect yourself, be accountable, because, right, like you were scripted in a play and you played your part, right? So it's almost like you will get to the point, or you're getting to the point, right? The whole purpose right now is this gift that's going to be bestowed upon you. Maybe the gift in itself is this massive realization, right? This massive awakening that it's like you have gratitude for the situations. You have gratitude for things that happened in your life. And this is not on some like kumbaya shit, like for real, because just because you have gratitude and forgiveness doesn't mean you let somebody back in. I'm not saying like be like, oh yeah, it's great. I know you tried to kill me. I forgive you. Like no problem. Like, like let's just end it. Like no. Okay? No. Take what resonates, put yourself where it fits, and take what applies. But remember, vibrationally, at a frequency level, okay? So there's a need to shift your frequency. I talk about this all the time. There's a reason why I emphasize, like, to elevate your frequency, to monitor your frequency, be aware of your frequency, okay? I don't think I want to pull any cards for this. That was honestly really, that was really amazing. I feel great. Like I was, even before I turned on this, I was pacing and giggling, right? And I was like, okay, and I was sweating and getting the chills. So I grounded myself a little bit, and I just feel great now. And that's what integration is about, right? And it's not, there's no manual for this, okay? It's not like a here's step A, here's step B, here's step C. Kind of generally, okay, like theoretically, yeah, maybe there is like a little bit of a step by step, but it's never the same step. The steps may be out of order or whatever, and it's never the same thing. It's whatever it is to you, right? And I'll always keep stressing too that there's a need to look within, right? Look to yourself and to your connection with your higher power as to your guidance. We can't keep looking outside of us for what do we do next? Where do we go from here? What do we think, right? What do we feel? Absolutely not. Like, get out of that. Come back into the body, right? Come back home to self. And that's really a big point of these karmic relationships too. Yes, there's lifetimes of debt and lifetimes of experiences to be worked out, sure, but it's also, the whole point is to bring you back home to you, right? And especially in karmic relationships, it's like you see reflections of yourself, and half the time you see reflections of yourself you really don't like. And that's hard. It's really hard to to face that sometimes, right? Like I can't be the only one saying that that's hard. I'll do it, absolutely, but it's hard. Like maybe we need to start saying what it really is, right? Like really break it down. And that's kind of how you shift out of these karmic situations too. You break it down. You got to break it down and see it for what it is, and remove that emotional charge. Because when you've really healed when it doesn't get you riled up, right? You've really healed that karmic contract, or you've completed that karmic contract when you remove that emotional charge. It's very difficult to do, 40/44. And I really believe that it's different for everyone, how you go about it, how you handle it. The best thing anyone can tell you is to go within. You will be guided if you go within. We have, if you shift your thinking to that, this is an we're in an energetic world. Like the energy is the currency. Like what are you paying for, right? And what are you receiving for paying for what you're paying, right? What you're receiving from the outside, and we don't even know a fraction of it. All right, that's all I got. 41/44. Have a blessed day.